Yeah, so obviously I'm a single mum, so a lot of my spare time is revolved around my daughter. But on a personal level, I do a lot of running, hiking, walking. We go every year to sort of big walking holiday somewhere in the UK. We were supposed to go to Brecon this year, but we didn't, obviously because of COVID, didn't manage that. I'm hoping to do the Three Peaks next year, fingers crossed, with a group of friends. And baking, you know, I do like to break bread. I've got to stop myself eating it, but I do like to bake.
Is that something you picked up recently with a sort of, I mean, it's very on point at the moment, isn't it?
No, I've been baking now for since before my daughter was born. My daughter prefers bread when I've baked it. She doesn't really like it when we buy it from the supermarket. She likes it when I bake bread at home. And it's in many ways it's very therapeutic. I actually knead the bread myself because it's a good therapy in a way. I don't use the bread machine for that, or kind of a kneading machine. So I do, and I think in a way it gives my mind a different thought process, because the science behind it, bread making particularly, I really enjoy. And it just kind of allows me to switch off a little bit, because council work can get quite intense, and politics can, and you do need that sort of release away from the politics, from quite what can be quite toxic environments in the political scene. So it's a nice escape, really.
You mentioned walking holidays and the Three Peaks challenge. Is that a multi-day challenge, or is that
24
all in
hours we're hoping to do it in.
24 hours. What else is on your bucket list for walking?
Machu Picchu is eventually when we're allowed to fly again and it's safe to do so. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Base camp, I suppose, is another one. And my dad did some trekking in Nepal a couple of years ago, and it looked amazing. He went for 10 days, so I think that's something I'd love to do. And visit New Zealand, because at the moment they've got the most amazing Prime Minister, and I'm quite envious. So yeah, I think they're the things I'd love to do. And maybe a road trip eventually in the States when my daughter's a bit older. You know, Trump won't be president then, so you know, it should be a nicer environment to go.
I see you're crossing your fingers below the screen there.
All's looking well at the moment.
But it did before, right?
Yeah, I know. You can, at the state of politics at the moment, you can't ever take anything for granted.
On just lastly on the walking piece, what's your happiest moment walking? What's your favorite memory of a long walk?
I think when it was so my husband was a walker hiker. He used to do fell running a lot, and being a Londoner and being a history teacher, not a geographer, maps aren't always my strongest point. So we used to go walking quite a lot to the Lake District. And year after he passed, we scattered his ashes in Lake Ullswater in the Lake District, because that was, you know, an important place for us. So my daughter and I went and did that, but we then did a 3-day sort of walking holiday with this organisation that does family walking in Lake District. And my daughter and I did the Cat Bells at the time. My fitness at that point was not particularly great, so we didn't do Helvellyn, but I will be doing Helvellyn soon. But we did Cat Bells. We got to the top, and it was just phenomenal. She was 7 or 8 at the time, so she was just bouncing all the way up, you know, without a care in the world. I'm kind of huffing and puffing up. But I remember getting to that point, and I think that for me was a real turning point in the sense that it changed in my mind what I needed to do in terms of my own fitness, my own health, but also I think the way that we approach life is that no matter how hard things are, you just plow your way through. And it was just a really lovely moment, and that's why it's quite addictive. So walking, you know, it's a very addictive thing. Like we do it every year. It's 50 to 60 miles over a week, and my daughter and I do. We do it in various places, so we thoroughly enjoy it. And this year, both of us have felt like we really missed it.
Presumably, it's not.
No, but actually, when it is wet, it's actually not so bad. As long as you've got your right waterproofs, it's not bad actually. And in a sense, that's another challenge and something to relish, and it's a great memory maker that you're walking absolutely drenched through somewhere, but it's yeah, it's totally worth doing. I thoroughly enjoy it, and we found an organisation that we're able to do it with other families. So my daughter has company, and you're able to accompany the other adults as well, and it's something that I don't think we'll ever stop doing, really.
This is what we just. I'm a keen cyclist, and it's a very similar motivation. It's called type 2 fun. So type 1 fun is fun, and type 2 fun is the harder it is, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something quite sadistic about it, I think, almost, isn't it? But I almost think the sense of achievement is the adrenaline rush, weirdly. So yeah, the scrambling up various bits and bobs is great. I mean, my husband used to run like Snowdon in a couple of hours, and I'd like, yeah, that's one step too far for me. But it's something that we really value, and I think obviously being from London, and I wouldn't live anywhere else. I love London. I'm a born and bred Londoner, and it's the best city in the world. But having that escape in something that's so sparse, so without very many people, is just a nice kind of escape from London, really.
And that idea of the harder the challenge, the more fun it is. That's a great analogy for life in local politics, right?
Oh yeah, totally, completely. As it is at current, even especially at the moment. I mean, you know, the battles the Mayor of London's having with Jenrick over the London plan, our finances, the rate of things that are changing, and residents' uncertainty about their own health, and obviously our role in trying to reassure them is not easy. You know, and quite often residents say, well, you know, you want to fix this pavement, and I said, I'd love to fix that pavement, but we just don't have the funds to do it. You know, I'd love to relay everything for you, but I tell you, what is heartwarming and what has been heartwarming over the last couple of months is the community cohesion piece. So sort of the mutual aid element of COVID, and seeing residents come together, and I've been involved in my ward, just how they support one another, how they encourage one another, they support people who are really struggling, shopping for their elderly neighbours or people who are shielding, and doing so without question, without kind of any fanfare. They always want to do it and to help their fellow neighbours. And it's been the most heartwarming bit about this whole process, really, and this whole thing that we're going through, that, you know, no matter how cynical people are, particularly about London and Londoners, what I've seen is the good in people, and that's been really, really heartwarming.